Welcome to Long Island here for more WORC racing tonight in the Xfinity cars. I haven't broadcasted a road course before, so this is definitely going to be interesting, but I'm joined here tonight by TJ. We're waiting for the drivers just to get done with their qualifying. They're currently have about 2 minutes left in it right now. I'll pull up some track info for you all. So it's located in California. It's almost 2-mile track, and I was told that they're going to be close on fuel. It's about 20 to 22 laps, but the race is 21 laps overall, so it's kind of in the middle. Some drivers might have to save, some drivers might decide I have enough fuel to the end and just decide to flat out push it the whole time. It just depends on what that person wants to do. But TJ, what are you looking at this race for from your point of view? Like, what are you looking to see here?
Yeah, it's really going to be a really interesting race, and thank you, Bryce, for having me along today. I mean, it's a road course. You're always going to have some shenanigans. I'd say, first off, lap one is definitely going to be very interesting to start off. A lot of drivers are going to try to be way too aggressive to start off. So if you're not starting in the first row, second row, I'd say honestly back off. Better be riding your brake going into turn number one. In all honesty, if you're not going for the pole in this qualifying session, then you might as well just be going for that last row, because the last row and the first row are maybe going to be the only rows that make it out clean. And as you mentioned, 20 lap fuel window. Some people might try to save their tires, try to save their fuel. Some people might be trying to push it and maybe turn it into a 15 lap race and a one stopper. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Very skinny, very tight road course, street course here for the one and only road course here for the Dynamo Designs National Series. So as it all comes down to it, if you're a road course racer, you're probably going to have a fun time here. But with the tight and skinny road course layout here, might see a lot of cautions. It's entirely possible that we might see that.
Yeah, one thing that I struggle with when I go on these tracks is hopping on that throttle way too hard. And I'm have a feeling we're going to see some drivers try to get back to the gas, and they're going to end up spinning themselves around. So it's going to have to be something that's definitely looked for, more as the run goes on. Because once you slide these tires at this track, you do have a chance to cool them down. But once they get hot, they really, really, really like to get loose on people. But drivers just got done with their qualifying. I'll pull up the starting grid here now for you. So it looks like I will try to go through these names. Hopefully I'm not butchering them. So Joey Canizaro, he is first. Austin Dorn, second. Joe Berge, third. Fourth, Gino Mero. Fifth, Chase Marsden. Sixth, Hayes Booth. Seventh, Brady Cox. Eighth, Pierce Maffett. Ninth, Clayton Ramstead. 11th, 10th, Timmy Spatz. 11th, Connor Havrilla. I hope I'm not butchering his name. 12th, Jay Moodler. Good Lord. I should ask these guys' names earlier. I believe that. So I got TJ Lair for a 13th. 14th is Henry Clapper. 15th, Nick Pina. 16th, Brayson Collins. 17th, Caden Riffy. Hopefully I'm not butchering y'all's name. If I am, I'm sorry. 18th, Hunter Colley. 19th, Sky McGurk. 20th, James Bomar. 21st, Frederick Seagraves. That's all the drivers tonight. Again, I'm not the normal broadcaster. I was called in to do this because I saw that they needed help. So if I butchered anybody's names, I'm very sorry on that. But this is going to be fun. Never called it a road course. I do like road courses. This is really where the talent truly shows, is on tracks like these. This is where you can really see the drivers that know what they're doing at this track for sure. That's one thing that I do like about it the most.
Yeah, especially we've got a pretty good front row there. You say Canizaro and Doran. Austin Doran, very good at these road courses. I would say he's probably the odds-on favorite if he makes it out of turn number one. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, it's entirely possible that a bunch of people might not make it out of turn one. Austin Doran might be the odds-on favorite. Him and John Canizaro can easily be two drivers that'll be battling it out for the win here today. Those two drivers, but especially Doran, very good. And Austin Doran really turns it on towards the middle and the end of the season in almost every single iRacing series that I've seen him be a part of. And we're about the midway point in the season here, about starting towards that midway point as drivers are starting to roll off towards anticipating the green flag. I think Doran could easily start his title run here with a win today.
Road courses are kind of, some drivers do kind of wait for these tracks. I'm somebody who needs to learn them, that's for sure. I'm horrible at them, so I need to get better at them. But this is going to be fun. We already got some contact back here, drivers trying to get through some of these turns almost rear-ending each other. It's tight track overall, so you guys gonna be making probably a lot of contact. Hopefully not sending each other around though. I wouldn't want to see that, that's for sure. The restart zone is gonna be a little bit different. They have to go through the hairpin, or sorry, whatever they called it. But so that's not the green flag. It'll be a little bit down. So now that is a green flag. So they are underway here at Long Beach. Oh, already wiggling around.
Doran's already got the advantage of the outside of Cannizzaro. Looks like Canizzaro's just at the quarter panel into turn number 1. They go clean for the first few rows. Looks like they're sorting it out quite nicely.
It's like Doran just decided to let Cannizzaro go. Decided he's going to fall in behind you, not even risk it. Everybody seems to make it through pretty well. We got somebody beating and bang. We got 2 dudes in the wall. Kind of a little check up there. Really slow part of the track. Those drivers able to sort it out and get going. The 18s point out to a little bit of a lead. Doran's falling behind. Joe Berge, the water company that makes water, it looks like it's in a beer bottle, but it's called Liquid Death. One of the best companies I've ever saw marketing-wise. Getting really hard on the throttle on exit. See, the 47 actually gets a little bit loose there, wiggling around, trying to put the power down. That's what drivers are going to have to watch. If they get too hard on it, those rear tires are going to disconnect from the track, and you're going to go right around.
This track, especially as the tires start to warm up. Oh, we got
somebody around. That was the, I believe, the 85.
I believe that's TJ Lair in the wall. He's trying to make sure everybody gets a one through.
See what happened with him.
What happened?
I had to guess, maybe downshifted a little bit too. Yeah, it looks like that's a downshift right there. And just actually didn't make that much contact with the wall, but he luckily just kind of parks it. Nobody hits him. So hopefully he's not too damaged, but he'll have to catch up to these guys up front now. But Doran's actually taking it back from Cannizzaro. Now he's under attack from Berge. Berge's kind of knocking on the door of him now, trying to get back to him.
Berge and Cannizzaro, this is going to be a really good battle. Here's Gino Mero in the 71 as well. Mero could easily, if he gets past these 2 guys, Mero is a fairly good road course racer. Him and Doran, honestly, this whole top 5, this could be a really nice battle to see how it all plays out, especially if we maybe get some fuel strategy and we stay green throughout the running, as we kept it green with the TJ Lair incident. But it's going to be very interesting as these tires start to warm up. We're going to see what mistakes could happen, because if the tires, I mean, if they get hot, this track can get slick easily, and with the tires, with the rubber being hot as well, we can go on board with Doran. The rubber's hot, you could easily slide it into the corner, so that's going to be something to look out for if people start to pit, maybe split this race in half, not only for fuel, but also to get some fresh tires to see if that makes any marks on their lap times, to see if that'll make them go any quicker.
Yeah, you can look at Doran, how much he's having to work the wheel, just trying to get that car to turn when it doesn't want to. He's just saying, oh, please, come on, just turn for me. He gets all the way on the gas, just shifting through the gears. He's going to get hard on the brakes at the end of this turn. See, the rear tires are screeching, trying to kick out from under him and start downshifting. That's his first downshift there. His second downshift, he grabs probably second gear right there. We got a caution on the track, though. Jay Moodler crashed, apparently. Might have started with him here. Might have self-spun. He might have gotten in too deep, possibly. I have to see, it may have been. Something happened in front of him here, so we got somebody that runs into the back of the 5. So somebody must have been around here. I'm going to get a blimp view. Somebody was around before he got to this point here. Heard somebody hit. There it is. It's a 97. You see him right there. So what happened up here with these guys? Oh, this is a big stack up here.
Oh, big stack. It looks like we've got quite a few big names involved. I saw Henry Clapper, although he's right there in front. So I wonder who the initial contact was. It looked like it was a Racing Nation car.
Looks like I'll go trying to get this camera view here. So yeah, this is where it is right here. Something happens. I'll slow it down. So the 86, he's trying to get the arch in. The 21 sees the door open. He says, I'm going to stick my nose in there. And that 86 is turning in. The 21 probably wasn't going to make that turn very well. Hits the 86 and spins him around. That comes to a stop, so he doesn't plow into him from that point on. And everybody just checks up. That's what brings out the caution.
Great racing awareness by everybody there, with everyone slowing down. I believe that's the 86 of Brady Cox. That was the one that got spun. And honestly, that's just a tale of too tight of a racetrack for drivers to try to go for the same space of real estate. As you saw, he just sent it in there, and that's one of the best passing zones if you're in an Indy car. But we aren't in Indy cars. I'd say every other spot on the track would be a good place to pass other than the hairpin. But heavy braking zone with these heavy Xfinity cars, might as well try to make something work out of it. But those backmarker cars really couldn't get it woed down in time, and Brady Cox seemed to have turned in a little bit too early. So overall, though, great effort by everybody. Not really much carnage. Everyone kind of just went to a stop.
But now looking at it, they have 18 laps left. They could come down, get fuel. You can maybe get tires, but this can probably get you to the end on fuel alone, if I had to guess. If drivers did want to kind of gamble and take that bet and see if it worked out for them here. So that's an option for some of these guys. I don't know if you want to do it up front, but out back, you know, it can't hurt you. And if you got some damage, might as well see if you can get some of it fixed for the guys that are in the race still.
I'd say if you're a TJ Lair, maybe a Brayson Collins, Jay Mulder, one of those guys that has a tiny bit of damage and you're sitting in the back, you might as well come down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, and maybe adjust your setup a little bit, put a little wedge in it, and honestly see how it works, see how it spins out. And if you've got enough fuel to run to the end and everybody else stays out in front of you, then it seems like you're in the catbird seat if this race goes green the rest of the way.
Yeah, the only the only thing with road courses, though, if you get back in the pack, you're near all that stuff. You're near all the action. What you just saw could happen right to you. You can put yourself in a bad spot. So it's going to be a choice of, do I come in and want to get back there, or maybe you can save enough fuel under caution, cutting the car off, pushing the clutch in, letting it coast. And that's going to be hard, but you can cut it close if you really do want to try. But we'll have to see what these guys do, if they do want to come down pit road. If they don't, have to see what they do. It might be a split decision on some people.
No takers for the first half of the field by the looks of it so far, with pit road being open. Maybe one, maybe.
It looks like nobody went down pit road, so nobody's going to take it. Not even the guys that have damage. If I had damage, I'd be... I mean, you're already back there. I'd go ahead and I'd take the chance if I was in, but nobody decides to take it.
Now we're going to double up. That'll be very interesting, that nobody came down pit road. So I guess everybody's thinking that they can keep it. Maybe.
You know, and I would say that you're on the edge. You were on the very edge of, I can make it, I can't make it. It's kind of like, you know what? Let's just see let's just find out, see what happens. Really, is what these guys are kind of doing right now.
Yeah, maybe some of those guys in the back of the pack, they could easily be saving a bunch of fuel right now, because we'll have essentially 2 laps under yellow, under pacing conditions. And you know, it could benefit somebody, but it could very well easily be something that drivers may decide that they want to save fuel. Maybe they don't even want to save fuel. And it's entirely possible that somebody could be planning on a lap 15, lap 16 pit stop and just say, screwing it, I'm going to go all out right now. I know I'm going to pit. So we could have very well plenty of different strategies playing out here. As we said, I think it's 17 laps to go when we'll have the restart here, so it's going to be very interesting.
I have to see Doran, see if he can get a better restart than what he had last time, because last time he did get beat by Cannizzaro, but he was able to pass him back pretty quickly. Didn't really have to stay behind him very long. He was just kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to take my spot back. See you, bye-bye. I'm gone. Luckily, he just kind of got around him relatively quickly. Let's see what happens. Somebody's catching the end of that. Who is that back there catching this? Looks like that is Ramstead, and I believe Cox has no hood, so he's running a modified. That's probably not going to work here. Actually, it might work on road courses. Who knows? Maybe it won't hurt him. He doesn't have engine damage. He might be fine.
Get some fresh air onto those front tires. Could very well keep his tires a little bit fresher than everybody else.
I've never saw somebody have to arch a corner that hard just to get through it. Went back to the restart zone here. We are back underway. Doran gets a good jump in front of Cannizzaro. Bergey's going to follow in third try to get around to Cannizzaro's outside, not be able to do it. Fall in line. He's getting loose. Saves it. Saw that rear end kick out, trying to keep his foot in the throttle. Man said, I'm just going to send it, see what happens. Watch these guys, almost 4 wide, 3 wide. Actually, we worked 3 wide there. Perhaps second, the 53 almost gets shoved into the wall. We got a wreck up here. The 82's around. The 5 makes contact with them. Parts of the 82 go flying off. Green flag is still in the air, however. Have to go back and watch what happens when these guys finally calm down up here.
Doran, Cannizzaro, Berge, and looks like Gino Mero still your top 4. So the same top 4 as follows. Looks like that's Bomar on the 47. I believe he is 5th, if I'm not mistaken.
He is currently riding 5th. You see the 71 smoke. The tire is getting in, but it looks like the 71 might have had a bad exit or something. He did not get going out of the corner. He's now gone. He reappears. That 71's going to get the spot. He might lose 2 here. The 41 might. Nope, that Supra tucks in behind him. But now these guys have calmed down. Oh, we got somebody into the wall. I believe that was a 71. Nicks the wall. The 41's right on his bumper now. Goes to the outside a little bit too long. Tries to break in the corner tight. Makes contact with the 71. Doesn't spin him around. The 47 also gets contact in the rear end. 41 can't get a good drive off. However, guys are beating and banging on each other. But I do want to go back now that they've calmed down a little bit and see what happened. I believe that was the 82 I was looking for. So Sky. Here, see what happened. Somebody got shoved in the wall. Let me go to TJ. That's not the 82. So what happened to him?
Looks like 2 people going for 1 spot of real estate, and ooh, right
That's
into the wall
hard
there.
contact. The 5 rips almost the front end off the 82 after that. Tell you what, Irison's update that they put as soon as we get back. That's the 70, or sorry, 7, yes. Trying to get these numbers right. It's the 41 around.
Ooh.
Loose on exit, trying to put the power down is what happened to him. Caught a very, very quick glimpse of it, but he's going to go from running, I believe, 4th to 14th now. You see the 21 with heavy damage going to come flying through and pass him.
Unfortunate there for Berge is he was fighting hard with Gino Mero there in the 71 for 4th place, 3rd place. That was a very good battle going on there. But now it's basically the Doran and Cannizzaro show. And even then, Cannizzaro really doesn't have that much of a fight right now for Austin Doran. As Doran looks like he's got about 3/4 of a second to a full second as at the end of the straightaway of a lead there. And then there's a long ways back to Gino Mero, who is just barely in distance. I don't even think that Cannizzaro can see him in his rearview mirror.
Cannizzaro and Doran ran almost identical lap times. Doran ran a 1:24.26. Cannizzaro 1:24.29 lap times for those drivers. So they're trying to stay pretty identical so far. Looks like you got somebody loose there trying to put the power down also. Back here we got guys kind of closer to each other than what I thought. The 51 looks inside the 29. Almost cuts his nose off. I thought he would. See, this one thing about road courses, that rear end doesn't want to stay in the ground. Drivers just trying to put the power down as fast as they can. And they can really reach out and grab some people. That's why I cannot run road courses, but I need to definitely teach myself how to, because y'all, if you can run road courses and ovals, you are the complete driver in my mind. But it looks like Cannizzaro's not really letting Doran go. He's keeping him honest. He's actually gained 2/10 on this lap in general. We'll see what he gets at the line, because they're going through a little bit of a slow section. If you don't nail these parts, you're going to lose a lot of time to the guy in front of you. It's like, yep, Cannizzaro picked up almost 3/10 that lap. We'll see what they run lap time wise. We got a 1:25.38 compared to Cannizzaro's 1:25.13 for him. So he's definitely picking it up here.
At the end of the straightaway.
Oh, no, Doran!
Into the tire barriers, and that gives Cannizzaro the lead, as Doran is going to lose 1, 2, 3 seconds there on the 18 car. And look at that. One little mistake into turn number 1, and the lead has flipped hands.
We're going to see what happened to Doran. If I had to guess, maybe locked him up, downshifted wrong. If you shift wrong, it really makes those tires hop. I just think he was going to miss that corner to begin with. Actually, just barely nicks the wall there. I don't even know if he hit it. It's just a mistake from him. Now he's going to have to drive extremely hard to get back to Cannizzaro. to Cannizzaro. He's going to have to see how hard he wants to drive. He can go really hard. He can go really easy. It just depends on what he wants to do. Save his tires, not build up the heat in them. Have to see what he wants to do up there because that gap is getting close to 2 seconds right now for him.
Oh, bouncing off the wall there is the 29. And it looks like that corner in specifically, it's been really hard to get it, especially with how the tire barriers are located. You've really got to nail that corner because if you get on the throttle too early, you're going to be heading towards the inside wall. And if you've overshot the corner, then you're bouncing into the wall.
If you make one little mistake, that's going to ruin your whole lap. But hey, how did this happen? Dorn's back in front of Cannizzaro. What? Did Cannizzaro? It says Cannizzaro crashed right here. What happened to him? You see, he's in front of Doran. The exact same spot that got Doran almost got Cannizzaro. Cannizzaro just slams on the brakes to not hit it.
So the lead flip-flops with basically the same action occurring lap after lap. Very interesting. So it seems like, whoa, Cannizzaro gets very loose there.
Wheeling it out the corner, trying to put the power down. This is when I think panic sets in. He's like, I just had the lead. I got to get back up there. So he's really pedaling it to get up there. But I think this is where he needs to realize I just need to calm down. We both made mistakes. He's bound to make one again, possibly. That's what he's just got to hope for. But he looks like he's driving it pretty hard, not giving it any room to really breathe. He's really trying to get aggressive on it now for him.
Gino Mera there sitting in third, basically at the catbird seat right now, because if Doran and Cannizzaro keep making mistakes, Mero's just been slower than them. It's not like he's been making a mistake per se. Watch as he's going to miss turn one right here. But he's just been slower than those two.
They're good. Go on
no
board.
No announcer jinx so far, as we're going to go on board.
That was an on-board lap with Mera. Cannizzaro looks like he slipped up 2 turns before and gave Mera the spot. Cannizzaro is now going to have to pass another person, so mistakes keep piling up for Cannizzaro. Mera, so far, he's the guy that's not falling over. Probably now that I said that, he's probably going to make a mistake. Like he almost shoots that corner wide. Cannizzaro is going to be able to get back to his bumper, put a little bit of pressure on him, but not a lot. Doran, he has a healthy lead now, about 5 seconds total over Mera, so he doesn't have to push hard at all. Just no mistakes. Looks like we got somebody in the wall. I believe that was Booth. Somebody stuck in the wall.
Oh, that's Cannizzaro in the wall.
Oh, no. What happened to him? Did he get stuck, or did he just decide to tow it? Might have broke something.
Ooh.
Hits the wall, and I think that either he left or that broke his toe. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to see if I had to guess, that probably broke the toe in the car and it will not turn anymore. Now it puts Mera. Mera's now maybe the only contender for Doran. That being said, Doran is running about a whole second or about half a second faster than Mara, so Mara's got some work to do. Mara can pick up the pace. He's got 9 laps to do so if he wants to catch Dorn up front. But Dorn, so far, he's made a mistake, but luckily the guys behind or in front of him have made a mistake when he has also, so he's been able to rebound from it.
Yeah, it's also going to be intriguing as we've only had one full course yellow here. I wonder if these drivers are going to want to pit, see if Doran's even going to take the risk of having to come down pit road and nobody else will. I really don't think that there's anybody that got fuel or tires. I think the only 2 people that got it were Brady Cox and then the 29 or the 25, I believe. So those 2 guys were the only ones, or the 21. So those were the only guys that came down pit road on the last yellow. So it's going to be very tight on fuel, or it might not even be tight and they saved enough fuel. But we'll never know until the end. It's going to be interesting.
But looking at the drivers that did pit, that he's definitely good on fuel. Is Clayton Ramstead. He pitted on lap 3, so he's good to the end. Most likely having that bit of damage has slowed him down, but also kind of stopped his fuel consumption. Probably gone down a little bit because he can't go as fast as those drivers in front of him. So he's the first guy that he knows he's good on fuel. Doran's still trying to push. He might just be trying to get big enough of a gap in front of Maro where he doesn't have to worry about Maro, then he can really start saving. These guys are pretty spaced out. Everybody's really on each other. 34 is trying to chase down the 97, cut the corner as hard as he can, trying to get back on the throttle as he gets too hard on it. This is so many cameras I've never saw before because I've never these tracks before as Doran. Just really putting the power down.
Really got swirly out of that corner there. And I think as these tires start to get some life on them, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they're going to really have to keep it under control, have to try and reel this car in. Because as the track gets more rubber into it, the tires are laying down more rubber, so you're going to be losing grip. It's not like it's an oval track, so you can go to where the rubber is and try to find more grip. The only grip is really going to be in the corners, and whoa, really getting loose out of that corner. There goes Doran.
Drivers just see the throttle and they're like, no, I'm just going to smash it on this course and see if it sticks. That's what road course drivers have to be very disciplined with, and some guys have been disciplined so far with it. Not many people yet have been around. 34 is still trying to catch that 97. He got close to him in one corner. He's got a little bit too deep in there. So Canizaro said, yeah, that's what I thought happened to Canizaro. Canizaro just went in the chat and said he broke the steering. That's what I had a feeling happened to him, because I know he didn't hit it pretty hard, but I know with these Xfinity cars, if any damage can really hurt them, and when he just hit it a certain way, it probably broke the toe in it. Just wouldn't turn anymore after that. That's not. But Canizaro definitely had a chance to win, that's for sure. He was fast, and it's going to be between him and Doran, I had to guess. But Maro now, he's kind of kept the gap same to Doran. He's not letting it grow at this point. He's kind of keeping Doran on his toes. I mean, Doran does have a 5-second lead, but I think Mara's just slowly eating into it. But Doran also can realize that I can lay off a little bit now. I don't have to go full throttle all the time. 52 doesn't have a front end. A lot of drivers have damage here, that's for sure.
Keep it in about 5.2, 5.3 second gap there between Doran and Maro. And I really only see the only way that it's going to get closer of a gap, as I think we have some cars on pit road, is if we get a yellow.
Like James Beaumare, I believe he is laps down though. He's pulling into the pits. No car that's on the lead lap is in there currently. Looks like Maro's kind of falling off now. Doran's just kind of extending his lead. And one thing is, road course, just watching road course drivers, especially, you know, in these cars, it's just a beauty watching them go through, because it's hard. You're having to clutch, use the shifter, you're having to grab gears and go. And if you can do it, it's just amazing to watch. That's one reason when there's road courses for NASCAR, that I'd love them, because it's just fun to watch in general.
It's so fun watching Xfinity cars in iRacing or in real life, just watching them go through Watkins Glen. That's certainly one of my favorite tracks. Just watching them slide through the S's, slide through the corners, slide through the keyhole in the carousel. Just so awesome to watch those guys go through that track, especially the Xfinity series, but the Cup series as well with the next gen cars. It was a really awesome race this season.
Next gens are definitely next gens are beating and banging on each other. You can smack the wall at 50 miles an hour and you can keep going straight. That's one thing I like about them. They really beefed them up, but driver safety is now brought into question because there's no crumple zone to take up any of that energy that dissipates from us. So they got an issue to fix with that. But road, these cars too, they're not meant for road course racing. They're meant for going in a, they're meant for turning left. They're really heavy. They don't want to turn. So you really got to work to get these things to turn around the course because they just flat out don't want to half the time. But the drivers that mastered it, like Tony Stewart, I was a Gordon fan, but I didn't get to see Gordon win a road course. I know Gordon considered, I guess, the road course king. You had Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, the last year in the Gen 6s, and even this year, he was still competitive on road courses. Tyler Reddick. It's just drivers like that. And I know Marcus Ambrose, he was a good road course racer. It's guys like that that come in, and if you can be successful at road courses and everywhere else, that makes you a complete driver. And those are very, very hard to find most of the time.
Especially with the addition with quite a few road courses being not only on the Xfinity schedule, but on the Cup schedule as well. I remember when there was double the road course races in Xfinity as there were in Cup, and now we've got 6 road course races plus a street course. I believe I think it's still 6, but we've got 6 road course races on the Cup Series schedule, and with the intermediates being more spread out, the short tracks being more spread out, we've got Atlanta becoming a new super speedway type track, and then we've also got the flat tracks. This schedule really makes you have to be a complete driver, and if you're able to get all those disciplines down, because in reality, well, Brayson Collins, I believe, tapped the wall there for a little trouble there for Doran, but crisis averted. If you're able to master all of those tracks, it really does make you a complete driver, and that's why I think the next few years of NASCAR, you're going to see a lot of true champions, because they're going to be the ones that have completed. They're able to master every single track on the schedule.
Oh gosh, the 5 hard into the wall. It's Brayson Collins. He's trying to get back on the throttle way too hard. He's just sitting on the track. He's probably going to get back rolling. Steering's not broke, but front end is gone. Going to get back rolling and underway. Now he's running the true modified. Smash the front end of that car in. He's probably going to pull over, let the 89 go. Yep, he's going to let these guys go around him, not have to worry about getting in the way of those guys at all. But Doran looks like he's just continuing to stretch out his lead. He can honestly run probably half throttle through most of his course and still win the race. He's not facing that much of a challenge from anyone behind him at all. He's just great shot. Just keep on going, really.
Straight shot coming to 3 to go here for the number 55, and no competition from Merrow. Looks like the biggest battle is going to be the battle for second place on track.
Got Hayes and Merrow going at it. But Booth has been close. Somebody's loose up here. I'm not sure who that was. I believe that was actually Doran. That was Doran, I think. I heard some tires screeching. I'm going to rewind that. Yeah, I think he did get some damage. Maybe. I heard somebody's tires. He actually does nick the wall there just a little bit. Hope he doesn't pound it. But Booth and Merrow, Booth has been on the bumper. Or no, he's been in Merrow's rearview mirror for probably about these last 10 laps almost. He's not really letting Merrow get away from him at all. He just he sees that second place and he's like, no, I'm going to come and get it from you. I'm going to try to at least. Because he wants it, that's for sure. Merrow is smoking the tires getting in, so he's definitely pushing a little bit harder, trying to keep Booth behind him. He sees him and he's like, I really do not want you in my rearview mirror. Please go away. He's doing pretty good so far. He's got to do it 3 more times, though. And one slip up, and that could ruin his race.
We saw how long it takes for someone to get back going after a slip up and how much time you could lose. I mean, it was about 4 or 5 seconds lost each time somebody's messed up going into turn 1, and that's just in turn 1. Everywhere else, you've got walls on every single side of you, so if you mess up, you've got some damage coming your way or at least a very heavy braking.
Oh, I knew
Uh,
there was going to be
oof.
contact right there. The 21's been working on that 97 for a while. This 21 is probably getting fed up. He's like, fine, I'm just going to start moving you here. 21 has had the preferred line, gets in there, breaks deep, makes contact with the 97. Uses him to turn, tries to power down, gets loose. So it's going to be old school drag race, Mustang versus Mustang. The 21's going to edge just ahead. The 97's going to edge just ahead. The 21's going to fall in line behind him. Somebody's up in smoke in the pits. 21's probably going to be hard on the brakes here, if I had to guess, because he does have a little bit of pressure tires. He's been working on this 97 for a while. I've been kind of watching it. He took some peaks earlier, just wasn't able to get in like he wanted to. You see the 41 behind him. 41 is lapped down though, so he won't be a factor in this. Probably just going to let the 21 go at it with the 97 more than anything. I was looking at the interval between Doran and Marrow. It's shrinking now. It's below 4 seconds. But this could just very well just be Doran really, really laying off and taking it easy because he doesn't need to do anything too dramatic. But white flag is in the air for Austin Doran one more time around here at Long Beach, and he'll take home the win. He's got to make it around. No mistakes. Just, I'd honestly be extremely easy on the gas if I was him.
Just gotta be smooth and calm. Really don't need to do anything too fancy here. And Dorn, I mean, there's a lot of places to mess up here on this track, but I think he knows if he messes up, if he messes up anywhere, Marrow's gonna be right on him because I think Marrow's chomping at the bit. He's been chomping at the bit for the last few laps here, really pushing everything out of his car.
Marrow's trying to give it all he's got. He's cutting it down, but just too little, too late for him. He's trying to get on the throttle super hard. That front end's just lifting up. He's trying to put so much power down. Trying to keep it under him though. Doran looks like he's got a 3-second lead, so he can really just take it easy. Start braking a little bit earlier than what you probably need to, so you don't run into the back of anybody, and just let it coast throughout the corners. Let it kind of coast on exit. Don't be super aggressive on it, and you should be definitely fine here as Marrow cuts it down to 2.5 seconds, but it will be Austin Doran. He will take home the win here at Long Beach. Marrow's second. Booth, he will come home third. He tried to get to Marrow, couldn't do it. Marsden looks like he will come home fourth. Timmy Spats might come home fifth. He's got Hunter Cawley kind of behind him, so if he makes a mistake, Hunter's trying to capitalize. Hunter's getting on that throttle, extremely aggressive. Might have a shot here to take it from him. If he gets in deep on braking, he doesn't. Looks like
Barely misses the rear end of Spats there.
Spats will take home fifth. The 97, the 21 might have got. Oh, he had a shot the 97 there to get around and tried it the last corner, but he just fell a little bit short. See Doran down here. Looks like he's doing some photo stuff, maybe. Pulls off the track there. So we'll pull up. Whenever all the drivers finish, it will let me pull up the race results. We still got some drivers going around on track trying to finish their race, it appears. One thing about road courses, you gotta wait for everybody to finish before you can see any stats from them. Oh gosh. There we go. So now I can pull up the results here. So I will get the top 3 in here for interviews. So I'll have to get Haynes, Gino, and Austin. So Hayes is in here. So we will bring Hayes Booth, the third place driver, in here. Hey Hayes, this is Bryson TJ in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, so you come home third. You fall a little bit short, but how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the checker, though, man?
Honestly, my main kind of goal coming into tonight, obviously I wanted to win the race, but after how Auto Club went last week and where I am in the standings, the main thing I needed from tonight was just a good result and points, and we were able to get that tonight. So I'm really overall the race throughout I'd say went pretty well. We were able to survive turn one, so that was something we were glad to do, and we just kept it clean for the most part throughout the race. So I'm glad to come home with the podium.
And road courses, you surviving turn one because everybody sees a lot of positions. They're like, what if I just get in here really deep on the braking? See how many people I can wipe out. But coming to the end of that race, did you think you had a shot at Mara because you were making him look in his rearview mirror the pretty much the last half of it?
Yeah, I did. I noticed I was gaining a couple tenths a lap there for a little bit, and I was starting to wonder if maybe we were going to have another Kansas, and I was going to be able to pass him for second late in the race. But unfortunately, I started to kind of get out of the rhythm, I guess, and lose some time. Or I think he found something, and he was starting to pull away a little bit. And then when we caught those lap cars, we caught him in a bad spot, and I just lost more time. But I'm happy for Gino getting a P2. He's a good friend of mine and a teammate. So I'm glad we were able to get two Maverick Motorsports cars in the top three.
All right, man. Well, before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank my team Maverick Motorsports. They let me on not a couple weeks ago, I guess. So shout out to them, my parents, and my whole family for supporting me through my sim racing career, and most of all, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good third place finish tonight, though, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Hayes Booth. Third place driver. We will bring in the second place driver in Gino Mero. Hey, Gino, this is Bryson Ty in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yep, I got a copy.
Man, so you come home second. You had Booth kind of breathing down your neck the last half of the race, but how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the checkered, though?
The drop of the green flag was just very you needed to be calm and try to just not spin tires, honestly. I don't know how hot it was. I mean, it was only 74, but given the fact you're putting a 3,300-pound stock car on a road course, basically this is NASCAR Monaco. You got to really save those rear tires, and once you're the top two, they really had all the clean air, and kudos to Austin. Austin definitely needed this win to resurge himself into the points, and pretty much lock himself somewhat, I think, in the top 14. I'm not sure where he is, but he should be top 14 given the fact his result was great.
Yeah, man. No, but kind of going back to the middle half, were you worried about Booth passing you? Because he was breathing down your neck for a good amount of time, and he was definitely making you look in your mirror. But were you worried about him at all?
I was definitely worried. Hayes is no guy to joke around. He is definitely one of the fastest guys in this league. It's just, me and him, we don't really qualify well. We qualified really good this race. We qualified top 10 every race, but yeah, he's just really consistent. I'm not even sure if he had damage to his car, and if he did, didn't slow him down any. So I was definitely looking at my rear view, but I just still kept in the first gear, being careful with the throttle, and basically playing with it like it was an Indy car.
Yeah, man. Just that's one thing I see a lot of drivers. They want to hop on the throttle and be pretty aggressive with it. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
I just want to thank Maverick Motorsports. We're definitely coming up through the rankings and definitely having a resurgence. Hayes having a bad race last week, and then Auto Club wasn't great. But this is what we do. We just keep consistent up to playoffs, and once it's time for wins, they'll come to us. But we just gotta be patient and look on the consistency side. So these top three finishes are gonna help us greatly.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good second place finish tonight, though, man.
Yep, thank you, sir.
We will bring in the race winner in Austin Doran. Hey, Austin, this is Bryson Ty in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Sure, I got you.
Man, so you come home first. Describe how the race went for you from the drop of the green flag to the checkered, man.
Um, my main idea or my main goal was to just minimize the damage. I mean, I knew I was probably gonna hit something in the race, because I mean these cars, the tire wear is insane on these. But yeah, I knew to just like play it easy. I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but yeah, play it easy and then minimize the damage.
I mean, early in the race, I believe who was it? It was going to be Canizaro. You and him were going at it, and then you slipped up, and then Canizaro slipped up. Were you worried about him, being all over you until he ended up breaking the toe of his car? Because it looked like you and him were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, we were for sure. I mean, I was playing it a little bit easier the first couple laps. That lap one mistake definitely helped from John, but yeah, I mean, once I got out in front, he kept pace. I mean, I started pushing from that point, so yeah, he kept pace for a good bit, and then I thought it was gonna be between us two, but yeah, things panned out differently.
And there's really no question. Now, once he was out of the picture, it just looked like you were the dominant driver overall. So I'll just keep this really short and sweet for you. But before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Oh yeah, I'd like to shout out my dad for watching, Hotspot for coming on board, Stapleton Auto Works, SD Graphics, URP, JJ Central, and everyone over at EC Racing.
All right, man. Well, I will let you go. Good win here tonight, though, man.
All right, thank you.
That was Austin Dorn, the race winner. Go through the finishing order here now. Austin Dorn first, Gino O'Mara second, Hayes Booth third, Chase Marsden fourth, Timmy Spatz fifth, 600 Collier seventh, Caden Riffey eighth, Clayton Ramstead ninth, Jay Moodler 10th, Henry Clappert 11th, Pierce Maffett 12th, Connor Havrilla, butchering y'all's names, and I'm sorry, 13th, Frederick Seagraves 14th, Nick Pina 15th, Joe Berge 16th, Brayson Collins 17th, Joey Canizaro Jr. 28th is TJ Lair. Gotta go down the list a little bit. 19th, Brady Cox. 20th, Sky McGurk. 21st is James Bomar. That's the end of it. I believe that's probably race control for y'all. But what was your thought on that tie, that whole race in general?
I thought it was a fairly clean race there for the most part. It was pretty fun watching Dorn and Canizaro really go back and forth for the most part. But in the end, I'd say the best car won. I said it at the start of the race. I said Dorn is definitely class of the field, could easily be somebody that is one to beat, and he went out there and he did his job. Gino Mero really tried to make it tough on him the last few laps, but too little too late, and it was a good win for the 55 car. And all in all, pretty good race, pretty clean racing. I enjoy a good road course race, and that was certainly one of them.
It was definitely fun to watch. This is the first road course race that I've ever called, and it was definitely fun to call for sure. And thank you for joining me in the booth. But hope y'all had a good Christmas. And hope y'all have a good New Year's. I will roll these ads, and I will let you all go.